YouTube, welcome back. Okay, so you've probably seen recently my NES pickup video entitled Console Wars Nintendo Strikes Back. Apologies if you've been struggling to watch it. It's had a few copyright claims against it, so you've either got to watch it on the desktop version of YouTube or on a smart TV. It doesn't work on mobile devices. So today we're going to talk a little bit more about the Nintendo. I've got the SNES out as well for comparison, and I did mention in that video that it is a little bit discoloured. Now I don't know how well it's going to come out in the video because it's not really that bad. Now it is loose because I've unscrewed it, so it's not too bad. It's mainly on the front edge. It did have a little scuff on the front, but I've cleaned that up. And then for comparison, that's my NES, which is really nice colour. I don't know if that's going to show up. Can you tell the difference? It's one of those you've got to see it in real life. But yeah, I just fancy cleaning it up a little bit more. So I'm going to have a go at de-yellowing it. Now the official term is retrobrighting. Well, I suppose the retrobrite is the chemical people use, but I've just bought some hydrogen peroxide off eBay, and we're going to have a go. So I've also had a request to have a look inside the NES. Now this has been RGB modded, so I'm quite interested myself just to see what's happened inside. So I've unscrewed it already, so I'll take the top off, and I don't know if that's coming up on camera. I don't think it is. I mean, I've just watched a short clip back and I can see it myself, but I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see that. It's mainly that front edge, but yeah, it's going to be mint, hopefully anyway, when it's all done. So anyway, that's the top half, and then I've took the screws out for this already, so I'll take this shield off very carefully, pop that down, and then this is the inside of the NES. That's a blue LED Sean Dennis did for me, and then that is the SCART DIN socket, which is there, Mega Drive 2 SCART lead, and then that's the switch, the 3 position switch, if it focuses. No, not going to focus on it. This is the trouble when you try and film things with one hand. Yeah, that's the three-way switch for the colour palette. So I'm going to be very careful and try and show you underneath this board whilst using one hand, which could prove a little tricky. Oh my lord! Right, so a little bit of a jump cut there because I did not expect that to happen. I really wouldn't recommend stripping one of these down because they are quite delicate, and as you can see, the wiring is quite small and fragile. But you know, I'm nosy, so I want to have a look inside. So what have we got? Well, this is the famous NES RGB board. So I don't really want to touch it because it's balancing, but that goes into like a socket. I imagine a video chip is removed, then that is put in place, and then I suppose that on top is the original video chip, and it runs through that board and then runs into that video chip. I imagine that's how it works. There's a few wires going off that, power, ground, 5 volts. Yeah, but I've got to say that the soldering done by a US modder is really nice, really good. It looks factory. I mean, a little bit of a hot glue. Well, that's just holding it in, you know, just to make things nice and secure. I've got a problem with that. You see some horror videos on YouTube and people take consoles apart and they're just filled with hot glue, but no, this does look really nice, really nice. So I'm going to get some better pictures for Simon, who wanted some close-up pictures, but I was more interested myself really, just to have a nosy inside. So I'll put that back together, and then we will clean the top half. Take that downstairs, give that a good clean. It's not too bad anyway. Take the black parts off, and I might take the front lid off, take that off. And then I've converted the conservatory into a lab, so I'll see you down there. Oh yeah, and I forgot to say that if the NES de-yellowing experiment goes well, I'm going to have a go on this bad boy. Now this is my Japanese grey satin, but it does look more green than grey. I've just took the flap off the back, just try and get a bit of comparison. So it's really not coming out in the video. I don't know what it's going to look like when I watch it back, but yeah, I mean that to me looks grey, but the top of the console, it's quite hard to catch it in the light, but it's definitely discoloured. So we'll do the NES first, see how we get on with that, and then we might have a go with this. I've also got my original SNES, but that's very nice condition. That probably just wants a clean actually. It's a bit scruffy on sides there, but even on the front it's still pretty white. And the only other console I've got that probably wants doing is my PC Engine briefcase, but even then I think that's okay. So anyway, we'll crack on with the NES and we'll see how we get on. Right then, so we're downstairs. I've just very quickly removed the black plastic parts, 2 little screws at the back and then 3 little screws at the front. Remove this little clamp here, should come off, there we go. Ruined. And then the door, that plugs them. Move them out of the way. The door should then come off. Ah, there we go, easy as that. That just slides off, just so I can get into corners really. That's the door. Apparently if you're careful it shouldn't remove the text, so we'll see how that goes. So I just need to give that a clean. This is what I'm going to be using. Focuses. I've got this off eBay. It's oxycream and it's hydrogen peroxide, 12%. I believe that's the strongest you can buy. It was £4.95 and it's the cream rather than the liquid. So obviously a few safety things to mention. You've got to be very careful because this stuff does burn. I bought myself some marigolds. I'm wearing a long sleeve jumper so I don't fancy any burns. I've also got some goggles. Now I did once have a drill bit shatter and nearly blind me in one eye. So goggles is a must. I don't fancy burning my eyes out today. And we've got some cling film. Now I was planning on doing this inside, but the sun keeps coming out, keeps going behind the clouds, keeps raining, so I'm not sure yet. But I'll just quickly show you my makeshift rig. Right, so this is the rig I'm going to use. Been watching a few videos on YouTube and this seems to be the best way. All it is a plastic container with a UV light on top, balanced with a brick. So the plan is to cover the NES with the hydrogen peroxide paste, stick that in the bottom of the container, then cover the top with cling film to stop it evaporating, stick the UV lamp on for a couple of hours, maybe put some foil on top, keep all that light in. Or I could do it outside, because at the minute it's glorious sunshine. So it might be a bit of a mixture of both really. So yeah, so let's make a start, shall we? Right then, so I've tried to set it up best I can, so hopefully it will capture it on video. Got my gloves on. The top half is now all nice and clean and dry. We've got the oxycream hydrogen peroxide. I've got my goggles on, got some kitchen roll. Yeah, so we'll make a start, shall we? So I suppose I should really use a brush, but do you know what? I'm just gonna pour it on like that. all I'm going to do is just rub it in. I will pop a link to the video I watched this morning, this American chap. This is all he did, and it come out really well. Rub that in. You can probably see the sun outside, it keeps shining. So I'll probably stick it outside for about an hour, I reckon, while it stays sunny, and then bring it back in and just stick it under the UV light. Now there seems to be various guides on the internet, but I think it's probably just down to luck really. Obviously with that retro bright stuff, you're paying for the name really. It's more of a brand. Quite a few people have just said use this stuff, so we'll give it a go. And I suppose the plus side is if it doesn't work out, I can just get another NES top. All the console part, the bottom bit, PCB is in the bottom bit, so that's nice and safe. So I'll just get it in there, get it in the corners. Not really sure how much to use. I think this is quite a strong solution, so I'll probably just stick with what I've put on. Just spread it about evenly. I suppose that's the main thing, to put it on even. Don't want any blotches. So I've just converted conservatory today. I've got some cardboard down, you probably see that. Bit of newspaper. And this is a bit of a guinea pig really, just see how it goes. Never done anything like this before. Well, tell a lie, I were into RC cars. And I dyed the plastic chassis. Used some RIT dye, used for like clothes. And yeah, when I'd done the bowl that I'd got all the dye in, I put it in girlfriend's mum and dad's dishwasher, and it actually dyed the whole of the inside of the dishwasher. So yeah, so with this I'm just going to wash it off outside. Not going to risk putting it through the bowl, through this dishwasher or anything like that. So I think that's enough for that. So the lid might need a touch more, just to put on the lid. Let's get a touch more. Oh, way too much, but yeah, and apparently it shouldn't damage the writing, but we'll see. We'll see. Leave that like that. Now the video I watched this morning, it did have quite a bit on, so hopefully that's enough. So I'll wipe my gloves off, I'll stick this in the container, put the cling film on top, and while the sun's out I'm going to stick it outside. Okay then, so it's been probably, ooh, bloody hell, 2-3 months since I did some filming for the de-yellowing, retro brighting, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, that part where I was in the conservatory didn't really do that much, I'll be honest with you. I did probably another 2 or 3 nights worth. I tried putting it on and then covering it with cling film, sticking it outside, sticking it in that box with the UV light, and I found that just putting it outside, no cling film on, and just using the natural UV sunlight, daylight, seemed to do the job best. I then tried to rush it towards them because I couldn't get, I mean, you're not going to see it on camera, but the rest of it went really nice, really white. The flap, quite a bit of yellowing on the flap compared to the rest of the console, so I put some more on and then wrapped it in cling film and then left it on for about 6 hours. Came back home from work and the Nintendo had gone. It just killed it, just destroyed it. So what you're seeing now is actually a new flap from eBay for like £6. Got a complete new flap. I have got a sticker as well, which I probably will put on my original flap, which is here. But because I use cling film, it left like a marble effect. Now I gave it to the painters at work and they've rubbed it down and it's come up quite well. And you probably see it just, can you see it where where's my finger? It's not going like this, is it focusing? Can you see the marble effect there? That's what it did with the flap because of the cling film. And it probably wasn't pulled flush with the surface of the plastic. So yeah, a little bit disappointed. So obviously I wanted to keep the console original as possible, cosmetic wise anyway. So I've got this flap and it doesn't look too bad. I mean, the font's wrong. Any Nintendo fan will know that straight away. So I'll probably end up getting a blue sticker to go with the blue LED, just to be a little bit different. Or I might stick with the red sticker. Yeah, and that's a flap. It's quite shiny. I'll probably have to polish the rest of it up. But final thoughts. It probably didn't need doing, to be honest with you. It wasn't that bad. I could try and show you the difference between the SNES and the NES, but it's so hard to see on camera. I mean, you couldn't. I watched the video back, the stuff that I filmed, and I could hardly tell the difference myself, really. I think it's just me being a bit picky, but I mean, to me now it does look better. Downsides, a bit disappointed when I wrecked the flap, yeah, we'll try and do something with that, and we'll have to use another red sticker that I've got, or I might go for a blue sticker just to be slightly different. But it's all cleaned out and it's all back together, and yeah, £5 for the dye from the creme, whatever you want to call it, from eBay. Yeah, mixed results really, mixed results. I'd probably try it again, but on a really yellow console. If your console's anything like this, then I wouldn't really bother, because you're not really going to see the results. I did try it on an old NES controller, which I don't know what I've done with that, lost it now, but that was really yellow. And I tried it on that, and that probably took took 2 or 3 days to really become white. But yeah, but there we go. That is my adventures with de-yellowing, and Frank is knocking me. He's here. He's come to have a look what I'm doing, because he doesn't like it when I'm crouched down. Oh, there we go. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on Cocker. That's it. See you on.